2024. Sarah will not be joining us tonight, so I'm going to chair the meeting tonight. Going through our agenda, we're going to open up first with, do we have minutes? Sorry, everything just crashed.
We do not have minutes.
Didn't think we did. So Tim, you want to take us through the administrative agenda?
Sure. So up first, we have the land use permit for the emergency response training. We have Mike here for that.
Yes. Hi, Mike Hilton.
Good evening, Mike.
Hello.
So Mike, do you want to give us a quick rundown, just a couple minutes of what you guys are looking for here so we can make a decision on how to proceed?
Absolutely. First thing, how much do you folks know about the Littleton Volunteer Corps?
A Littleton Volunteer what?
Littleton Volunteer Corps. We are.
I think
That answered my question.
Yeah. I'll just give you a 1 or 2 minute background on who we are and what we do, and that'll kind of help flow into our request for use of the land coming up. So basically, Littleton Volunteer Corps is really a group of Littleton citizens, a wide range of folks with varying skills. We've got nurses, retired firefighters. I'm a salesman myself. I used to be a firefighter years ago. Basically, what we do is we support the town, and specifically the fire department. We report up to Alex McCurdy, and he in turn reports to the fire chief as the emergency director. What our efforts really are, and Andrew knows a little bit about us, of course, but what we do is really support the fire department with anything that they need, any of their operations. Specifically, this particular training would be for firefighter rehab. And what we've done in the past is search and rescue operations, disaster support, warming and cooling shelters, very appropriate today. We also do support of large-scale outdoor public events, basically the flow of people, making sure folks know where to go, how to go, safely across roads and such, i.e. with the Appleman and the Littleton 5K. But we've also run over 40 COVID clinics and flu clinics over the last number of years. We're a team of roughly about 30 volunteers. And as I said, most of us are made up of folks here in Littleton. What we're looking to do is, last summer we conducted a drill in coordination with MEMA, a number of their folks, to do actually what we call a CPOD, which is a community distribution, a point of distribution for water. It was a very well run, very well attended event. Basically, it's if we had some reason why we couldn't use the town water, we bring in pallets and pallets of water from various sources. We'd basically see the distribution out of those pallets of water to the citizens. In this case here, what we're looking to do is we're looking to, on August 17th, between 9 and noon, use Oak Hill as the scene of a mock disaster. Basically, a small plane has crashed in the wooded area at the top of the hill, and the fire department has responded. There's a large rescue operation and a simulated, not real, of course, fire that takes hold of the land up there and starts to spread. As mutual aid is brought in, we're going to simulate roughly 70 first responders and other authorities that would be on the scene. Our job would then be to basically support them through a base of operations and logistics. We would have a remote rehab location at the top of the hill potentially, as well as a main one at the bottom of the hill. And we'd be simulating firefighter rehab. Basically, as these folks are working the fire scene, we need to make sure they're not overheating themselves. We need to make sure they're safe. They're not having heat stroke and any other related types of things. So our job is to basically run this simulation as we are supporting their efforts, making sure they're hydrated, cooled, fed, all those different types of things. And again, we're doing this actually in conjunction, as we did last year with the CPOD, of bringing in additional towns. In this case here, we've invited Air, Harvard, Boxborough, and Pepperell, who are some of the other CERT teams that we work with. So it's really truly a mutual aid type of environment, much the same way that the fire department does a lot with surrounding towns for fires and ambulance coverage and such. We're doing that with our CERT teams. By the way, CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team. And we all work really under the ICS, the Incident Command System, so that we can take these teams, much the same way the fire department does, take these teams from other towns and mesh in really, really easily and understand how to work with each other. And again, this is just reinforcing that. Questions for you?
So if you're gonna be over at Oak Hill, and it sounds like a lot of people, where you gonna park?
We've actually spoken with Chief Pinard, and he is going to assist us with putting up no parking signs for that day. He's also pledged an officer to assist us. We're going to be working with the water department to use I guess it's the Whitcomb Ave site for parking for all of our teams. So our teams would be housed over there, and we've been working with Alex has been speaking with the Council on Aging to see if they can help us with movement of people from that location to the Oak Hill location.
Mike, a couple of comments here. It sounds worthwhile to do. My concerns are around making sure that we don't unnecessarily worry anybody else. So I'd like to make sure, it looks like the land use permit requires you to post this 48 hours in advance. I'd like to ask you to post it at least the weekend before so folks know what's coming to the extent that they're there. On both weekends. And of course, there isn't always overlap, but at least give folks a chance to know. So post it at the Oak Hill Trailhead. I'd also really like to make sure, and this isn't in the land use permit, that we're posting it on the Harvard Road entrance. So folks coming in from that side understand what's going on, understand that it isn't a real emergency, but rather a drill. And I'd also like to ask you, and one of us can certainly help you, to make sure that this goes out through social media channels, including potentially the towns, so that, or the newsletter or whatever, so that, again, I'm sure we will get concerns either coming into conservation or coming into the police department or fire department about, is this a real thing? But I'd like to head that off if we can by making sure the public is as aware as possible.
Absolutely. So
do those all sound like things you guys can do? Post it a week ahead of time, both main entrances and social media / newsletter channels?
Absolutely. Yep. I can do that. Not a problem.
Does this mean the public won't have access to Oak Hill during this?
So the main entrance, to answer that, no, they will. What we'll do is the main entrance, and forgive me, I can't think of the name of the parking area there, but the one kind of up to the, if you come across the railroad tracks and go straight and then slightly to the right, that parking area will be closed just for those 3 hours. They will have access to the hill. We just probably request that they not go up and down the main walkway at that entrance during that time, as we will have the fire department will be using their UTV, basically an ATV. It's a special unit for the Littleton. Air and Boxborough may also bring their UTV units. Just FYI, those will only be driven, Littleton's, for instance, will only be driven by a Littleton firefighter. It will not be driven by a citizen volunteer.
But that does mean that the entrance on the Harvard side will still be open, right?
Correct.
So people could go around them.
Yep, correct.
And this is sort of outside of our jurisdiction here, Mike, but your plan should absolutely, I live on Oak Hill, your plan should absolutely include traffic management for cyclists. Saturday mornings there are probably more bikes on the road than there are cars. And I would hate to see someone get hurt in the interest of trying to help people not get hurt.
Absolutely. And just to confirm, so the concern is with the cyclists mainly on Harvard Road, or
Oak Hill Road, where that sort of where that parking area is that you mentioned. There's probably hundreds of cyclists that go up that road, and that's an avenue to try and reach that community a little bit would be the bike shop at the corner of
Yes. Well,
at the stop sign there.
Yeah, what used to be Fallon's years ago.
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I can put I'll work with Alex on putting a notice up there then. Absolutely. And I'm assuming if we posted that 1 week ahead, that would be what you're looking for?
I think that would be reasonable. I think you post it too far ahead and no one pays attention.
True.
I sort of monopolize that. Any other commissioners have comments or concerns here?
Sounds like a great training exercise, and I think with the additional posting and notification, I think it'll be a great exercise.
Excellent.
So you want to give us I suppose we might need a motion here.
Sure. I'll make a motion that the Conservation Commission issue the land use permit to the Littleton Volunteer Corps for the training exercise at Oak Hill.
Second.
Yeah, motion's been made and seconded. Andrew, roll call.
Roll call vote. Ed.
Ed Foltz, aye.
Kyle.
Kyle Maxfield, aye.
Chase.
Chase Gerbe guy.
Carl.
Carl Melberg, aye.
Myself, I. It's unanimous.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you,
Guys,
Mike.
thank you very much. And please, you're welcome to come join, take a look, at how we operate. It should be quite an interesting event. So please, if you get down there and you have, if you want to park at the water site and use our transportation over, you're welcome to do so. Just let them know that you're with the commission, and they'll be glad to let you join.
Sounds good. Thank you for the invite.
I may just go mute here and continue to listen if that's okay. I'm interested in some other things you guys are talking about.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, Tim, you want to take us through status of some of these enforcement orders?
Yeah, so 10 Ivy Road, we did hear back from Highway. They said catch basin looks good. I stopped by there today. All the work's been completed. They've got straw down. They actually were able to put up or plant the blueberry bushes. So once the grass grows, we'll be getting a request for a certificate of compliance from them. But it's in good shape.
At this point, Tim, do we need to lift the enforcement order, or should we just do that when we issue the certificate of compliance?
I think it would be best to probably lift it beforehand. So now would be yeah, that would be good.
Okay. Then I'll move to end the enforcement order on 10 Ivy, Mass DEP file number 2040982.
Second.
Roll call vote. Carl.
Carl Melberg, aye.
Kyle.
You're muted, Kyle.
I'm sorry, guys. Kyle Maxfield, aye.
Ed.
Ed Foltz, aye.
Chase.
Chase Gerbe guy.
Myself, I. It's unanimous.
All right. 30 Warren. We don't really have much of an update. Casey's still in contact with Chuck Karen. But Chuck's been busy. So that is going to be continued to the next meeting.
Tim, in that case, is the property owner at least maintaining lines of communication here?
Oh yeah. Yep. He's been in communication with me and Amy.
Okay.
15 Powers. Amy was able to make contact with the property owner yesterday, talked with him in person, issued the EO. He said that they'll be coming in on for the next meeting on July 9th. So if you guys could vote to ratify.
Tim, can you remind the commission the context of the enforcement order?
So I believe they did. I haven't seen it myself. Amy saw this, I think, when she was going around, but I believe they did some grading, and there's bare soil down, I think might be even into the wetland over there. If not, it's very close.
This was for a pool that had been installed or something, right? And they stockpiled material that's now washing down.
No, that was the other one on Douglas. Was it Fort Douglas, I believe? Yeah, no, this one they kind of created a path down there.
And didn't they kind of extend their driveway out a little bit too?
I
Like
believe
they
so.
added-
Yeah, I
Right.
believe that was the other aspect of the unpermitted or the violation.
But at this point, we've been able to get in contact with the property owner directly.
We have, yeah. Amy went and met with the property owner on site, so she talked with him.
So what are we asking to do here?
Just to ratify. He'll be in at the next meeting to speak to it.
So Amy has issued it and we have to ratify or not ratify. And if we
Exactly.
choose not to ratify, then the enforcement order is withdrawn.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you. Well, then I move that we ratify the enforcement order on 30 Warren Street.
Second.
Hang on, 15 powers is what Ed said, right?
Yeah.
Correct. Ratify there's a lot of enforcement orders on here.
Yeah.
I move that we ratify wait a minute, that just says potential violation of 15 powers. It doesn't say anything about enforcement order. What are we ratifying?
We weren't able to make contact with them until yesterday. So Amy was trying to issue it, but it never got issued.
So there is
by
an
the time the
actual
agenda came out,
enforcement
we
order
did.
that we're ratifying then? All right, just want to make sure I get it right. I move that we ratify the enforcement order at 15 Powers Road. That was
Second.
issued by Amy.
All right. Roll call votes. Chase,
Chase Kirby guy.
Ed,
At full side.
Kyle,
After that,
Carl,
Tom Melberg, aye.
and myself, I. It's unanimous.
All right. Tree protection. Do you have anything? Is that Chase or Kyle?
That's me. That's
Chase.
100% me. That's been me for weeks and weeks.
All right. We'll push that to the next meeting.
Chase,
Uh,
we'll run. Do we have a
I have
five?
I have two things to add. Well, first of all, I guess for Spec Pond, they did request to continue to the next meeting. I believe they got the third-party reviews, and they were in the process of commenting back, but they didn't have it finished yet, so they requested a continuance.
Okay.
Other than that, I think Amy sent around the Benthic MAT report for Lake Mattawanakee to you guys. Kind of wondering if you wanted Dave Barr to come in next meeting to speak to it, or if you didn't feel that it was necessary.
I'll be perfectly honest. I haven't looked at it yet, but my expectation is that I'm just going to want to review the report. I don't think I anticipate a lot of value out of a discussion. But
Okay.
I'm happy to be overruled. If anyone wants a discussion, we should go that way.
no, I was going to say the same thing, Chase. Their reports are usually pretty thorough, if I recall the last one. So I think we get whatever we need out of that report.
All right. And the only other thing I had was we got a forestry plan that came in from Neff. They're going to be doing some harvesting over at Prouty. But other than that, that's it for me.
What's the timing on that harvesting, Tim?
Honestly, I
recall?
haven't even looked at it. It just came across our desk. I mean, at least my desk today, like an hour before I left.
For the meeting in 2 weeks, could you just summarize that in a couple bullet points for us so we can make sure that we're aware of it and communicate it externally? Sure. It wouldn't shock me if some people get pretty worked up about the implementation of a forestry program. I'm not sure everyone understands that that's the purpose of that land.
They are going to have, and we did confirm that, me and Amy. I looked into the CR and confirmed they're allowed. That's an allowed use, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are going to have some stream crossings. So we're going to look further into that. Dot our I's, cross our T's in terms of that stuff.
And from what I understand, it's not going to be starting until the fall. And it's going to be very widely publicized, and all the stakeholders involved will be notified well in advance, just so nobody's like, what is going on over there?
It'll happen. Someone will call in a tizzy, but we'll manage. If you're done, Tim, I only had one other minor update, which is the purchase and sale agreement between the town and the Websters was signed at the select board meeting.
Hmm.
I think last week,
Excellent.
8 days ago. So we did look into some different ways to extend the duration on that, but none of them really panned out. So
Okay.
we're going forward with the acquisition.
And there weren't any grants available because of the short notice.
Yeah, because of the timing. If there was a way to shake loose another 40 grand in carrying costs, then we'd have availability, but there just isn't. So, anyone else have any other updates? We have to remind Sarah that when she's not here, we have a 23-minute meeting.
Good reminder.
Yeah, you do that, she might not come back. Careful.
Oh,
She has to come back.
yeah, that's not a choice. Can we get a motion to adjourn then?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, roll call votes. Ed,
At full side.
Carl,
Carl Melberg, aye.
Kyle,
I'll not say bye.
Chase,
Chase Gerbe guy.
myself, I. It's unanimous. We're adjourned.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, have a good night.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, guys.